Hi, I'm Wubs, and I've never reviewed a movie before. However, I'm not new to the review scene. My main wheelhouse is reviewing indie games. One such title of these is Five Nights at Freddy's, a little niche title that I'm sure none of you have ever heard of before. This niche little game managed to get its own movie, and I happened to get it with Peacock, so I decided I would watch it. Someone's texting me, I don't care, and review it for you. I'm going to give my own unbiased review, and I'm going to show you my reactions to it that were filmed as I was watching it last night. I'm also going to add some spoilers, but that's going to be near the end. You'll see the time skip. It'll be very obvious. Hi, editing me. I hope this movie is good. Let's see. Let's see if it is any good or not. Starting with the press of a button. Pow! Let me start off with some positives, and let me first say that the movie itself is beautifully shot. A lot of the shots look really good. The sets look really good. They didn't skip on any area of that style of production. There were some bad shots. They were kind of hit or miss. Some of them took me out of the experience entirely, which you'll see in the spoiler section. But for the most part, like, the sets and everything look really good. Acting performances were again hit or miss. Oh my god. Mainly missed. Some were pretty great. Josh Hutcherson plays a really good sort of Jesse Pinkman-esque character where he's really scruffy and rugged, but not too much so for the big screen. I could really see this being sort of a breakout role for him and maybe help him branch off in other things, like good movies, maybe, at some point. That and the child actors were really good in this movie. There's that kid from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, like sort of the Disney Star Wars era. He's really good in this movie. He does a lot of good performances. What else do I like? Some of the humor hits pretty well, I guess. I mean, they got some chuckles out of me, but that's not saying much. I'll laugh at a fucking cucumber on the screen with a name tag that says Jeremy or something. But other times the humor is really out of place and just really weird. Like, there's some jokes that, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, cry or, like, scoff or shit my pants or something. I am afraid that's where my positive things to say about this movie end, however. It is not good at all, but let's go ahead and get into why I think that, I guess. If you can't tell, I'm a little tired. That's because this movie makes me feel like I've ran 10 marathons, and all of them were on like really steep terrain, and also I was dreaming for the whole thing. First and foremost, this movie's not scary. It's like Disney scary, is what I like to call it, where it's not really that scary unless you're like under your teenage years. Maybe if you're like 12 or below, you'll get hit by some of the jump scares or whatever, but it's not scary. You have nothing to worry about. It's kind of like Happy Death Day, in that sort of style of horror. But let's be honest, like, the FNAF movie can get away with not being scary, right? Like, we all know that it's not really that spooky. At the end of the day, we're mainly here for the fan service, and we're here to see things that will make our brains tickle a little bit. But above all of that, we're here for the lore, and we're here for the story, right? That's what we're here for. It's not good. Trying to follow this movie's story is like trying to follow Usain Bolt with shit in his pants. And also there's 3 Usain Bolts, and you have to follow all 3 of them as one person. And also none of it's real because it's all a dream. Yes, this movie leans on the trapdoor of the dream theory, where nothing of consequence happens and no one is affected. Hello, Wizard of Oz. That way, any inconsistency, anything like that can be shooed away with the dream theory. And I wish I was dreaming this dog outside, but I'm going to make it dream after I knock it out with my boot on its forehead, crushing it, and then it dies, and its soul is entrapped in like an animatronic of some type. I'm thinking like a bear, and then it tries to get you. Even if this movie is using the dream theory, which it is, a lot of the characters are so inconsistent and so bad and so poorly written and poorly structured, and a lot of shit doesn't make any sense. Things are built up and then have no payoff at all. I don't know what the fuck is going on half the time. You'll see in the spoiler section. I'm not just talking out of my ass. I'm gonna make sure you understand what I'm going through. I'm a fucking monkey now. What are you gonna do about it, bro? I'm tired. I don't want to talk about this movie, bro. Oh my god. Even without any of the bad stuff, this movie is on shaky stilts of a foundation. It really feels like the things in this movie, like, if it's not part of like the main central plot, it doesn't exist. The real world outside of it, around it, does not exist at all. They aren't real people. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know like the proper verbiage to say. I'm not experienced enough. Total headache of a movie, does not warrant a rewatch. I watched it twice and I hate it even more now. So I was praising the performances before, but a lot of these are really bad. I actually liked Piper Rubio's performance. She is the little girl in the movie, but some scenes, like, I don't know if it was the director, I don't know what happened, but they just fall flat. She just doesn't do a good job, and I don't think it's her fault, really. Like, she can act her ass off when she wants to. But the really bad performances come from the powerhouses. Like, Matthew fucking Lillard of Scooby-Doo fame is in this movie, and he's ass. Straight doggy poopy ass. I don't understand. Like, he's not a villain. He's just not capable. He's not capable of that. It's partially because the story makes no sense. It's partially because he's just not a villain. It's like he's trying his hardest to be evil. He's trying his ass off to be bad. Elizabeth Lale is a fine actor if you've seen her in You. The character, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's so ass backwards that I'm convinced they just had no idea what they were going on and they just wanted the name. I don't even think she knows what she was doing in this movie. The cherry on top is that Google has her character's name wrong. They put the wrong character's name. I'm gonna get into that in the spoilers, but Jesus Christ. This movie really feels like it's skimping on the story and the actual things that matter in a movie, like the performances, to really rope you back in with the nostalgia and the story references from lore and shit that just don't make any sense given the plot. Some things just don't make sense for a character. Some things are physically fucking impossible. And some things, they just happen with no explanation. They just have no reason, no build up, nothing. The real only solid leg this movie has to stand on is the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise name. And while it does a good job at depicting it with the props and everything, it is just a bad movie. I would say if you turn your brain completely off, just shut that shit off like you're my teammates in Overwatch, you're gonna have a good time. Otherwise, this is just gonna make your head hurt and you're not gonna watch a movie ever again. Trying to follow character motivations, trying to follow different story beats, trying to follow any of this shit is nigh impossible, and if you do, it's gonna hurt you. That's about all I have for the lack of spoilers. The rest of this is completely spoiled for you, so I'm going to go through this entire movie and I'm just gonna show you how bad this is. Alright, spoilers now. 3, 2, 1, skip to this time right here. This time. Right here. Hold on, this time. Go to this guy. The movie starts with a pretty gruesome death, a la the first Five Nights at Freddy's. It doesn't matter. No one brings up the character. No one knows who he was. It doesn't set anything up. All it does is show you the office, and that's really about it. I don't even really know what to say about it. The intro credits show you a yellow rabbit is kidnapping kids, and then we see our main character sleeping next to a book about dreams. Really nailing it in, really letting you know none of this is gonna matter at all. It's really trying to be one of those movies, you know what I mean? Where it's just taking anything that could be bad in the movie and giving the opportunity to explain it away with, he's asleep. It's not supposed to make sense. He's working at a mall and then he sees a kid get dragged away. Now, a normal functioning adult would say that's the kid's dad. Not this guy. That's not what we do here. Then we meet one of the most lazily written, one of the most poorly made, and one of the most annoying characters I've ever seen in a movie in my entire life. Steve Raglan. Steve Raglan is the worst character I've ever seen in a fucking movie. The writers don't care about him. The directors don't care about him. The characters don't fucking care about him. Nobody cares about this character, and you're gonna see exactly what I fucking mean. Just take a look at this fucking scene. The way he stops talking and looks at Mike like he recognizes him, then changes his whole tone, insinuating he recognizes him from something, or whatever the fuck. But then, he invites him to work at Freddy's. So where do you recognize him from? What was the point of acting like that? You recognize him because he was doing other jobs, I guess, like his track record. But, like, I don't even know if he recognized him. He doesn't outright say it, and it could have been where he just, like, went to what the fuck is going on? He offers Mike the job of a night guard at Freddy's, but Mike can't work nights, so the credits roll. Unfortunately, I'm kidding. He can't do nights until he gets an eviction notice, and until his shithead aunt tries to take his sister for tax money. Then you meet Max, who's built up to be the romantic interest.
I wish someone would buy me a ring.
That was the worst way of establishing that.
What do we got?
I wish someone would buy me a ring.
Well, that good.
Oh well,
nice.
that's not gonna happen by the end of the movie.
My friends.
Oh well. We then see the first dream sequence, showing us Max has some PTSD from seeing his brother get kidnapped. That really sets up the whole crux of this movie. But one thing I don't get is, he clearly sees what the vehicle looks like. There's no license plate, but he sees the condition of it, he sees the color, he sees the style, he sees all of it. But I guess he didn't want to tell the police, or the police just don't care. Whatever, who gives a shit. My goat Doug gives Mike family court matter papers, and Mike is told how important pictures are to kids. This is actually a really good scene, building up something that will have payoff. Savor this while it's here. This only happens like one other time in the movie. It's after that Steve Raglan, putting on a totally new voice for whatever reason, and then acting all sinister, gives Mike a phone call. Because he's a twist villain. I don't know if I can make the quotes stand out anymore, but I would if I could. The rest of the next scene doesn't matter. We see Balloon Boy, and then Mike sleeps on the job. He meets new kids in his dream, and then he wakes up. He learns nothing, but at least we see the kids, I guess. We get more romantic tension between Mike and Max, which, again, goes nowhere. And then we see MatPat.
Which is the most important meal of the day.
Thought it was breakfast.
Some people say that, but, you know, it's just a theory.
Are you being paid by the word?
I wish MatPat was the only part of this scene, because now we know that Max is hired along with some fat guy as fraudsters for Mike's dickhead aunt. They even bring up fucking killing Mike, which Max says nothing about because character consistency is difficult, I don't know. But they ultimately decide against it because it's a fucking unhinged response. Instead, they're gonna sabotage his job. Why are they even doing this? We already established that any court wouldn't side with Mike earlier. Why the fuck is this necessary? Why is Max a bad guy? What the fuck is going on? It's that night, and you'd think this is when they go to sabotage Mike, but it's actually when we get to see one of the worst shots in this whole movie. We meet the second worst character I've ever seen in a movie, and then we learn if you get hurt in the dream, you get hurt for real. Oh, if it happens in the dream, it happens.
Know where they keep a first aid kit?
For real. Because of course you fucking do, dude. I don't care, bro. She introduces herself as
Vanessa Shelley.
but in Google, her name is Vanessa Monroe. Where does Monroe come from? There's no Monroes in this movie. What the fuck is going on? She brings up the missing kids and then shows us the big cast of animatronics where they proceed to play Talking in Your Sleep by the Romantics. The lyrics further pushing that it's all a dream and none of this is happening and none of this matters, and I'm so tired of this already. There's actually a pretty funny scene with the badge, and then we get to the most fucking frustrating part of the entire movie. Maybe the second most. I don't fucking care anymore. Vanessa Shelley or Monroe or whatever the fuck watches him lock the front gate. I'm burping for this part because it sucks ass. Drives off, and then the fraudsters show up to fuck the place up. Why are they doing it during the day? Why didn't they do it during his shift? He's the night guard. It doesn't matter when it happens during the day. His job is to protect the place for the night. Why would this affect his job standing at all? Why was Vanessa there in the first place if it wasn't for the vandals? I thought at first maybe like Max loves Mike and was selling his aunt out and like putting a sting or something. But no, she never brings it up. Things go as they were always going to fucking go. I ramble a little bit, so I'm gonna cut that out. But the best scene in this movie plays out. What are you seeing? Everyone, including fucking Max, dies. Why was she built up so much? What was the point? The only death that really matters is Max's death because she won't be babysitting again anytime soon. But the rest of the characters are never brought up by anyone and they don't serve any purpose.
Mike
Max and his sister Abby have some character bonding and then Vanessa shows up. That's where things get somehow even more convoluted. Remember when Vanessa watched him lock the place up?
2 seconds later.
Somebody broke into Freddy's. Recognize these?
Well, you were there.
Remember to
Oh. So she knows him. She knows Freddy's. She thinks someone broke in last night. You were there last night. You were there. But he was dreaming even though he didn't know you existed. And it's all connected somehow. It's not explained. The fuck is going on? I don't care. Max gives Vanessa his life story, and then Vanessa says, "Oh, you two still have each other. Oh. And then she throws Mike's sleeping pills into the river because fuck Mike. Max doesn't pick up the phone for babysitting because she died the coolest death in this movie, so Abby comes with Mike to work. Then he falls asleep on the job even without his pills, so Vanessa did all that for fucking nothing, and Abby starts exploring. This is editing Wubs, and this is taking a long ass time to edit, so I'm just gonna say they build a fucking fort, and then she does this for some reason.
You can do whatever you want with your own life, but if you ever bring Abby back here again, I will shoot you.
Mike then calls his dickhead aunt to come babysit while he goes to Freddy's to sleep with little kids. I could word that a lot better, but I'm not going to because it's funny. Now, there's this plot line where the kids want Abby dead, so that she can be one of them, even though she was visiting perfectly fine and they were having fun together in the scene before. But what they give in return is the possibility to stay in a dream world forever, where his little brother is still alive. And for some reason, Mike agrees to this, realizes, wait, I'm a fucking idiot, and then he sees his babysitter's dead body, doesn't acknowledge it or care in any way, and then somehow he doesn't die. Then fucking Golden Freddy shows up to his actual house And I'm just gonna let the scene play out. Just watch this. How without making noise? How without anyone noticing? How?
Not Freddy. It's time to go play. Silly Aunt Jane. She fell asleep. How do we get there?
Wait, that's... Is that how I think it is?
Listen, little lady. What the? Oh my goodness!
Mike was apparently saved by Vanessa, where she explains herself in a way that is so nonsensical, contradictory, and fucking annoying that I'm going to explain it to you with this one scene and sentence and trim the rest of the bullshit.
His name
is William Afton. Yes, sir. 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 Oh, I didn't know she was dead. I didn't know he was Pops. And the animatronics tried to kill her. She's saved by Mike. And then we get this.
Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know why she was trying to hurt me.
I know.
You don't want to try to deliver that line one more time.
I've been an idiot.
You don't want to take another take of that. That's good.
I've been stuck trying to figure.
And then we meet big boy William Afton himself. His acting is dog shit, the choreography is terrible, and the outfit is purely designed for fan service. But that's not even close to the worst part. Wait.
You may have forgotten your loyalties, but I assure you,
What, that's
not.
Steve Bagdall, Big Balls, is Springtrap and also Vanessa's dad. Even though we just fucking heard William Afton is Springtrap and Vanessa's dad. Mike doesn't even care that it's fucking Steve. What the fuck is going on? Steve gives the worst monologue I've ever heard.
Look how small you are, how worthless you are. You are wretched, rotten little beast. I made you.
He gets clapped and then the movie ends. The dead characters mean nothing. They make no difference, affect the main characters in no way, and are completely forgotten about. I'm tired and I'm turning my fan back on. Because it's really fucking hot in here. I'm giving Five Nights at Freddy's a gold star sticker. They really tried to make a movie with this franchise. There's clearly effort in the creative department, but the story is so god-awful that it just doesn't matter at all. Performances are hit or miss. There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek references. The story makes me want to piss my pants because that would be more enjoyable. It almost feels like a fever dream, all of this happening. Hopefully we don't get a sequel to this, but I feel like we're going to. So prepare for that. That is my humble opinion and rating. Thank you so much for watching. I've never done anything like this before with a movie, but if you'd like me to review, oh my god, I've like re-recorded this like 5 times. I'm not doing this again. If you'd like to see me review another movie or whatever, let me know. I really enjoyed making this. I thought it was fun. Otherwise, I've been Wubs. Take care of yourself.